Here's a better angle. I said I placed the piece down. I had started the backing peel. It's going to come back and it's going to strip as I'm peeling it and stuff. I'm working it forward, but I'm coming from the below, so it follows this straightage. Because also as this is peeling away, I can start adhering it. Right now I haven't even rolled it, but it kind of follows that line. Then I take it and run my hand over it, run this around to the general contour. Then I come back later, like I'll do now, move that aside, and use the roller. And I'll just work my way up. Also want to go this way, because I got that curve. And what I'll do is I'll cross hatch it. So I'll go in two different directions. Or if not more. Really compress this down. And as time goes, I'll go along this edge and really kind of press it down. Doesn't require too much pressure, but also too, it's like stops it so like you can't get anything to hang up underneath it, hopefully. And this will really getting it snagged and stuff. Some people are wearing gloves and stuff and everything else. I'm not wearing them because I'm being careful on what I touch. I haven't cut myself. Some people have been saying they've been good cut. I haven't had that issue. But that's just an example. That's how I adhered that quarters. I probably could make this in a pattern, especially if I'm going to do it again, which I may or may not. Probably not, because when I came with this outline and stuff, I started from this post here, lined it vertical best I could, took a permanent marker from the other side to draw on the paper, and just brought my marker around, so I got a kind of really rough idea on where I can go, and then I went by freehand just to kind of smooth and follow along this line, and that's how I came with this line. And that's what's worked for me thus far. That's like on these, measured about 1.5 inches off of here. As you can see, there's my line. Every 4 inches, put a slit in it, so I can take and flex and make a split in it. And starting from down here, brought this piece down. Next piece I brought down, and I'm doing this just pretty much by hand. I'm not hitting it with the roller yet. Brought this piece down, so they're kind of overlapping. Like I said, as I go by hand and stuff, I'll preform and stick that, and then I'll hit it with the roller. And that's how I've been doing it. I don't know if anybody else is gonna be doing this. This is not metal model specific. I don't know about anybody else. I didn't really see any tutorials on how some other people are approaching it. I see a lot of Sprinter vans getting done. Very cool. I see vehicles with audio systems. This one will never probably really get one. Not like my ZJ, where it's got a $1,300 system in it. And I like that because I went mainly for the Bluetooth, and I like my car audio. And that's a lot quieter platform. But this being more of a boondocking and overlanding vehicle, I don't need that much. Or want that much in here. I mean, I've sealed and put some foams in different places because it's materials that I had on hand, trying different things and stuff. Also for winter, I got some reflecteds in here. The foams I went with because also too, I'll probably hit that with some more spray adhesive. And I've cut them and kind of fit them up in there. I'll probably have to clean it again, because also we don't go so much in winter, summer, but winter. And having the foams, that's just more insulation. That's why too, this roof is done in foam. It also reduces the noise. I used some different materials and stuff, did not like it, removed it, and then cleaned it, and then applied this foam. But this is just olive. This is what the path that I've chosen. That's like too some other foams and stuff I've just kind of tucked up and set up in here and stuff. That'll help, just like in a, you know, a sub enclosure and stuff. If you got something that's going to absorb the sounds and stuff and everything else, it's assistive. Everybody will have their own preferences and methods. That's also like this tailgate up in here. It's got foams and stuff and everything else installed in there to fill the cavities, but also for thermal purposes. I'll have some reflectics, which I'll probably cover with some, maybe some neoprene style foam. And I was gonna try some Velcros. That may switch to more of a suction cup type thing. Eventually there's going to be a headliner in here, and I have some cross pieces, or I should say some banding material that I should be able to string back and forth to hold these reflectix pieces and stuff, keep them up out of the way. But that's all to come. I filled some areas and stuff. I know some people, it's kind of a mixed boon of filling cavities or not. A few years ago, we were out with my ZJ and it got overran by deer mice. So that's why I kind of foam filled the cavities. It's kind of really kind of messy, but I didn't want them running through the vehicle, you know, freehand. And by that time I already knew, it's like, you know, if I really need to running wires for additional electrical, I still got these channels that are up in here. There's a lot of space actually behind there, and it's easy to run forward all the way down and then down that column through the firewall to access a battery or a fuse block if I install one. Currently I also have some magnetics up here, magnetic bars from Harbor Freight. Like there's one glass case for my girlfriend's glasses. Ready to kick out of these lights. My Harbor Freight lights. So I needed a place to stick them. I think I mentioned them before. Whether I'm working underneath the Jeeps or underneath the hood, I can place these magnetic based lights and use the flex nexus on them and send a light to where I need to. I forgot my tablet holder. This is a section cup piece. I got a 10-inch tablet for winter time because it gets night early and we may not be in sleep yet, so we'll watch movies. Summertime is like, nah, we'll be awake. There'll be daytime, could do odds and ends. Don't really need it. Anyhow, once again, till the next piece, thank you.